get prepared. Being on all the details, make sure everybody understand the plan and what we want to get accomplished, and then go out there and play. It's another game. It's part of the regular season, so we got to make sure we finish out strong.
Is there such thing as rust if you don't, if you do sit or some of the veterans do and you don't play for 2 weeks? Is that, or are you at a point of the season where you guys kind of got it?
Yeah, I think we at a point of the season where it's like, we understand. We understand, the magnitude, and so, even when we're not playing, we still take these practices seriously. We go out there and practice hard, and still make sure that we're on top of all of our keys. I do think sometimes it could matter, like when you first start off the season, like preseason and stuff. But once you're at the back end, it's not as big of a factor. You more so of trying to get healthy and be healthy more than anything, especially going into the postseason.
What type of practice was today? In pads on a Wednesday, Matt said it's going to be some ones on offense against some ones on defense. Mm-hmm. That's not normal. So what does it feel like to be in a week like this?
To me, it feels like just any other week that we've already had. We've pretty much been in pads, it feels like, every week. So it's not much of a difference. Like, I think at this point, like, you get so far into the season, like, we're used to having pads on. So, like, it don't have no really effect on the same. Plus, we out there, and we know, obviously, we want to be smart, and we're not, doing extra. And,
right.
We understand the guys that we have around to, tag off or, whatever the case may be.
Do you know Harrison Smith at all?
I do not. I don't.
Just curious, as a fellow safety,
yeah.
He may or may not be playing his last game on Sunday. Just what have you thought of his
Hall of Fame. I think he's one of those guys where, when you think of the top safeties to ever do it, he's up there with, some of the best ones to do it. And, even, with him being older now and being who he is, like, he's still out there, making plays and being impactful on the games. And he's one of those guys where, you still, circling him out, like, all right, we got to be aware of where he's at, different things like that. So big respect to him. And I love his game from a disguise standpoint. I've watched just different games where he's shown different things and try to implement that in somewhat of what I do at times. So I've definitely learned from him as well.
Do you feel like the run game defense against Baltimore was an anomaly and easily fixable in your mind?
Easily fixable, you saying?
Sure. Do you think it is?
Yeah, I think so. I think we went back and watched the film. I think it's very easy to fix because it was simple. It was like simple things. It didn't matter who it was. We all had our fair share of MEs throughout the game, and all that stuff is fixable for sure.
Xavier, we talked after week 2, after that gangbuster start. You said a lot of MFers start 2-0 and aren't there and aren't worth anything at the end.
Yep.
How do you make sure that your team is worth something now headed to the playoffs? And how do you feel the season has progressed since that point when people were crowning you early?
Well, I think the good thing about the postseason playoffs, you get a new start. You 0-0. Obviously, you put your body of work in throughout the season, and we've put our body of work in, whether that's whatever it may look like to the outsiders looking in, or even to us. Like, we put our body of work in. It is what it is. We can't really go back and change anything, but we can reestablish, what we want to be as a defense and as a team. So I think the playoffs gives us another chance to be able to do that.
To do that, do you have to have a certain amount of guys play and build momentum this week, or is it about practice this week?
I think everybody's different, so I can't speak on everybody's circumstance and situation. I think for our situation, we need to get as healthy as possible, and I think that's the biggest thing about it.
When you went back and watched the Baltimore film with that critical eye, did you see any concern about effort for this defense, or did that check out to you?
No, I don't think it was ever an effort thing for our defense or our team. I don't think it's ever an effort thing. I think the guys come in here each and every day, and that's one thing that we don't ever have to worry about. I think a lot of it was just misassignments and just doing things that we don't do on a regular. We weren't ourselves, and I think we understand that. Like, we looked ourselves in the mirror, and We say, hey, look, this wasn't what we wanted it to be, and now we get another opportunity to go change that. So that's just what it is.
You talked about effort and body of work. Effort and body of work. Here we are in January. Your personal snap count is just incredible, especially teams and defense.
Yeah.
How have you led by example? How will you lead by example and word now going forward?
Just keep being me. Trying to make sure that I keep maintaining and making sure my body is good, so I could be available, for these guys that I go to war with and, this organization. So that's how I'll just continue to keep just being me. I don't think anything changes. Just how I prepare, how I go about the days in meetings, in practice, and in games. Really just bringing all that together, just keeping that going.